how can we shift them from obstacles into opportunities that lead us into a more creative, generative, thriving space? And that's the core of what we're exploring.
I love it. And we generally start with maybe defining terms, and I thought that could be useful here. How do you define paradox? And then also maybe what you mean by tension?
It's such a good question because I think the word paradox itself can be either engaging for people or off-putting for people. Some people are like, paradox, bring it on. And others are like, paradox, let's leave that in the philosopher's corner. Um, the way that we define it is that we talk about tensions as an overarching term for the kinds of emotional tug of wars, competing demands, situations in which there is a choice to be made or in which we feel like there's opposing possibilities that come into our lives. And again, that could be everything from how do I navigate my health and well-being? How do I partner with a partner? How do I parent? All kinds of tensions that arise there. How do I think about my career? To how do I work in a team? How do I lead an organization? Like all kinds of places in which there come upon us different possibilities that are often in conflict or feel like they are opposing one another. And that's the overarching term. And what we would argue is that those competing demands, tensions show up as a dilemma, where a dilemma is an experience that's begging us for an answer. Do I spend tonight spending more time finishing the work that I have to do, or do I make it home for family dinner? Do I make a choice at this moment to do something that's healthy, go out for a walk, get to sleep earlier, exercise, or do I continue to do the thing that I want to do, like finish binge watching whatever episodes I am on Netflix, or do I in my own life, do I in my career focus on being an academic who studies ideas, or what we academics call a practitioner or a real person out there who implements them? Like they sort of beg us for a choice of what we need to do. We need to make a decision. And what we would argue is that paradoxes underlie all of those dilemmas. That if we sort of pull back the curtain on those decisions, what we'll see underneath them are paradoxes. So it might be worth it to spend just a minute on what we mean by that. What we mean by paradox is these interdependent, persistent contradictions. So these do, and we often use the image of the yin yang to demonstrate it, right? These two options that are in direct conflict with each other: love and hate, stability and change, self and other, the white sliver and the black sliver that are directly opposing and contradictory, but they are also interdependent in that they define each other, they enable each other, they reinforce one another. The boundaries of one lead to the boundaries of the other. The yin yang, the totality, requires both the black and the white, and they are defining of one another, and they don't go away. We're never solving them per se. We're always grappling with these paradoxes. So, underlying the decision of in this moment, do I watch the next episode of Netflix or go to bed, is this underlying ongoing tension that we have about being spontaneous and in the moment and having fun, and being disciplined and sort of, and that disciplined spontaneity tension shows up in our lives in all kinds of different ways, but it's something that we're always grappling with. And what we know is that too much spontaneity leaves us being so extreme on some level that we actually can't be productive in life. But too much discipline, it's almost to extent that like we create these disciplines in our lives, but so much discipline leaves us not enjoying the life that we're creating. And we need this ongoing balancing, this ongoing interdependence of discipline and spontaneity, right? That we want this ongoing balance, and we know that a bit of discipline, we create the structures and routines in our lives, allows us the space and the opportunity to be more spontaneous. So they're intertwined with one another, and those are what hide behind these dilemmas. And what we would argue is that if we pause to notice those paradoxes, those interdependent relationships, we get to a better more creative, more thriving, more sustainable set of solutions to our dilemmas.
Beautiful. I have a big curiosity question, I guess if you will. Both and thinking this navigating a paradox, not a new idea as you're well aware. You bring in the yin and yang symbol. It's really timeless wisdom. I think of things that have come up previously on the show, people like Heraclitus and this conflict of opposites. You have the middle way, which is really a central thing in Buddhism. And I went through a consulting course a few years ago, and it was lovely. Brought in basically this type of work of how we navigate a particular paradox, and it was almost like it's new information. Why is there, out of all of the books, maybe probably 500 books a year on leadership and different things that come out, why is it not as common as maybe it should be, is I guess my question.
There's so much to say to that point. So thank you for raising that and putting that out there, Josh. I think that I like to joke that the one question to ask any author is, "What's the chapter that got nixed from your book, that got sort of left on the chopping block floor?" Because
Mm,
the chapter in our book that we sort of condensed in some call out boxes was about the history of paradox. We are indeed. Building on the shoulders of giants, standing on the shoulders of giants. What's really intriguing to me and to us, myself and Marianne, my co-author, is that these ideas have been around for 2,500 years. Like you said, it's Buddhist philosophy, Lao Tzu and Confucius. It's Heraclitus in Greek philosophy, who were writing in the 500 BC era.